Okay, now we're on Chapter 10, Lesson 6, Problem Solving, Customary and Metric Conversions. Although they're going to ask you to make a table in the directions, I want to stay consistent and continue practicing reading through word problems, because sometimes the table is useful, but other times doing picture boxes and reading through the problem to know how to set it up is sometimes more important. And so we will be reviewing the table in class, but for purposes of this lesson and this video, I'm going to be more consistent with what we've been doing in the past for word problems. That being said, Thomas is the name of the boy, because there's a his here. Thomas is making soup. His soup pot holds 8 quarts of soup. How many 1-cup servings of soup will Thomas make? So we have a certain amount of soup. Now, if he was going to drink the soup, if he was going to add to the soup, if he was going to do anything with the soup, then we would put in a picture box and figure out, what are we adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. But all this is asking is how many 1-cup servings of soup will Thomas make. So all they really want to know is 8 quarts. I'm going to use another piece of paper to show it. All they really want to know is he has 8 quarts. Now he's not doing anything special to it. All they want to know is how many cups is that. Okay, so we don't need a picture box. We don't need one of those bubbles where we're doing less than, greater than, or equal to. He just wants to know if he has 8 quarts, how many cups is that? So that's how it's going to look. Now this looks very similar to what we've been doing in lessons 1, 2, and 3. When it's the quart and cup, we're looking for it. And here's the quart. And there's not one where quart and cup are in the same exact one. So that means that's going to be a 2-stepper. Okay. Here's the quarts to pints, and then the pints to cup. We're going to be using these 2 steps. The first step we're going to use is change the quart to pints. The second step is, once we know the pints, we could finally end up in cups. So we're going to start at the quart and end at the cups. We do know 8 quarts. And before we could find the cup, we're going to have to change it to pints. On top, we're going to put our cheat sheet. We're going to put 1 quart equals 2 pints on top of this, matching up the quart with the quart and the pint with the pint. 1 quart, 2 pints. 1 quart equals 2 pints, 1 quart equals 2 pints, and the pints are on top of the pints and the quarts are on top of the quarts. And we're going to ask, how did we get from 1 to 2? Well, we got bigger and we multiplied by 2. And so right there is going to be our equation. 8 times 2 equals 16 pints. And so now we know the amount of pints. 8 quarts equals 16 pints. Is that our final answer? No, we want it in cups. But the reason why we had to change it to pints is now we can go to cups. It's our 2-stepper. Now we're going to say 16 pints equals, I don't know why I put so many lines under equals, how many cups? And here, our pint cup is telling us 1 pint equals 2 cups. 1 pint equals 2 cups. 1 pint equals 2 cups. 1 pint equals 2 cups, matching up the pints and the cups. And we're going to ask ourselves, how did we get from 1 to 2? It's getting bigger, so we're multiplying, not dividing. 1 times 2 equals 2. And so that's our equation. 16 times 2 will give us our amount of cups. So, 8 quarts equals 16 pints. 16 pints equals 32 cups. And that is our final answer. Number 1, there are 32 1-cup servings. Now, let's start number 2. Let's not start, let's do number 2. And see how this word problem is going to look. Paulina works out with a 2 5/10 kilogram mass. What is the mass of the 2 5/10 kilogram mass in grams. So what we're doing here is Paulina is a girl who's working out, and she's using a weight. Now that weight right now is measured in kilograms, and they want it measured in grams. So again, just like number one, it's not like we're adding anything to the weight. It's not like we're taking any weights away. It's not like we're repeating it. All we're doing is we have 2 5/10 kilograms, and we want to know how much grams is equivalent. Paulina works out with 2 5/10 kilograms. What is the mass of this in grams? And we like this one because this one is not the top part, which are the customary ones. This one is the base 10 ones. And so remember, we're taking kg and we're going to write it out. Kg stands for kilogram. 2 5/10 kilogram equals how many? G stands for gram. There's no prefix in front of it. So we're going to ask ourselves, how do we get from kg, kilogram, to gram? Well, how many times do we shift or to move the place value? 1, 2, 3. So we're going 3 times. And are we going, if we're starting at kilogram and going to gram, if we're starting here and ending here, we're going right. So 3 times to the right. Now, to the right does mean multiplication. And we're going over there 3 placeholder zeros. So 1, 2, 3 placeholders. So we're taking 2 5/10 and we're multiplying it by, because we're going to the right, 3 placeholder values. So we're going to take that decimal and we're going to move it 1, 2, 3 times, and we're going to add our zeros when necessary, and the new decimal is right here. So our final answer is 2,500 grams. And so number 2, our answer is 2,500 grams. And if you want a complete sentence, what is the mass of the 2.5 kilogram mass in grams? 2,500 grams is equivalent to the 2 5/10 kilograms. Okay, so keep working through them, 3, 4, and 5, as well as the back side. And you're going to be doing something very similar. Just make sure to be using your conversion charts, whether you're going to be converting with customary lengths or base 10s. For base 10s, right is multiplication, going towards the left is division. All right, good luck.